Good morning, all. Just only 30 minutes to midday. Welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. My name's Simon, and this is my daily Bitcoin price action analysis. All right, so before we get straight into it, I just want to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. And to the 4-hour chart, we march. As you can see, that is a big, long, straight orange line drawn in error because my trading view skills need a bit of work. Okay, I think there's something interesting happening on the 4-hour. I may be wrong, but I think there's something interesting. If you see this, up, down, retest, obvious retest, up. Look at this, right? Followed by a bounce up to the top of the range, okay? Back down to the bottom, bounce. Oh, it didn't quite get up to the top of the range. And now some more downside. Now, there is a bounce happening as we speak, but on the 4-hour, if that doesn't close back above the midline, I'd be thinking, this looks like downside. This looks like a downtrend on the 4-hour. And you've got, really now, you've got a high up here, and you've got a lower high here. So you know what that means. That means you can get a little trend line out and do something like this. But that's a 4-hour trend line. And I'll come on to my 15-minute trend line in a moment. But that, as you can see, will continue to be in play until the 4-hour closes above the midpoint of this range. So stay with me, strap in and hold tight. That sounds like some sort of crazy ride. It's not. It's really not. It's quite simple. The other thing that makes me think there's a slight difference on a 4-hour than there has been going back to Valentine's Day is look at the MACD, right? This just being some momentum indicator. I like looking at the MACD sometimes as opposed to the RSI. The RSI is quite up and down, right? It basically puts all of the price action into percentage terms. The MACD is a moving average convergence divergence. But it also tracks momentum. But what I like about the MACD is the zero line, because somehow, with the crazy maths behind the MACD, and I don't really know how the mathematics of the MACD worked out, but the 0 point, which is that big line there, the zero line, gives you an overall gauge. It's not tradable. Please do not trade the MACD crossing the zero line because it won't work. It'll work sometimes, but it won't be a good way to trade. But when it's above, that does tend to give you more of an upside bias, not tradable on its own. And when it's below, that gives you more of a downside bias. And combined with what I just talked about, so the fact that this bounce didn't achieve the top of the range, and now there's more downside, and that the MACD is below the zero line, but only by a hair, like a hair from my chinny chin. Oh, it gives me a bit of a feel that this range may be broken to the downside rather than the upside, but I don't know. And that's why it's a feeling and it's not an absolute. So we'll come back to that. And in all likelihood, that's going to be Monday. Might be over the weekend. But even if it does happen, which it might not, more likely Monday. All right, so down to the 15-minute time frame. There we go. Did I tell you Happy Friday? Don't know if I did, actually. Happy Friday to you. And by the way, this isn't financial advice. Oh, my battery saver's just come on. I hope that doesn't interfere with the video. Okay, so we've got way too many lines on here now, haven't we? Crikey Moses. Let's get rid of some of those lines and put the brightness back up. So, uptrend. Bit of jiggery pokery yesterday, but that mini range high wasn't broken, or didn't break, as I alluded to in yesterday's video. And then it resumed a bit of a downtrend overnight. And now don't short support is playing out. But, where's it going to get to? Now, just like yesterday, it's the same thing. On the 15-minute, for this downtrend to cease to exist, you need to see the all-important higher low. And up until that point, it's still a downtrend. The trend line does look like it's been broken, but that doesn't mean that an uptrend is in play, because you need a higher low for an uptrend to be on the screen. And you know that by now. It would look really good. This would play into the hands of the 4 hour if the price did something like that. Maybe not today. When's that? Is that into the weekend? Yeah, that might be into the weekend. But at some point, this would be a continuation of the 4 hour downtrend, with a bit of a 15-minute uptrend along the way. So don't confuse your timelines when you're trading. Top tip: if you're trading 15-minute, trade the 15-minute, and don't get blurred. Don't cross your timelines when it comes to trading. But you can have thoughts, and you can use the higher time frame at the back of your mind to maybe help you with the lower time frame trading. Well, that's what I do. Nice line, Simon. And so maybe a bit of upside today, and then what would be logical would be a bit of sideways over the weekend, and then maybe into Monday a retest of the low. That would be a 4 hour continued like wedge down against resistance, and then maybe some break into next week. But that's all guesswork. That's all tradable, Simon. What are you talking about, boy? And so, that's why I do what the price action's telling me to do. These are lines of guessingness. And lines of guessingness are they're amusing, they're funny, they may be true, but they are guesses. And so what I'm looking for is to see what the price action does, and then I react to the price action and make a trade accordingly. Woo! All right, so I'd say the take-home message for today is the current support at 51,000 still holding. It's starting to look like the midline may be getting some bigger muscles when it comes to resistance, not like mine. And I do wonder if the upper range might not be revisited today, but I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I'm going off track again. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another move up to the midline today. Closures above there, of course, particularly on a 4 hour, would take everything I've just said, screw it up into a ball and throw it in the bin. And then, of course, you'd think probably a stab at the top. The difference is there was no 4 hour closures along here. At least I don't think there were. Were there? I think they were only lower time frame closures. Yeah, they were 4 hour wicks. So that's the difference, right? And so these are 4 hour wicks. So that's when you got to think: what time frame am I on? Am I on a lower time frame or am I on a higher time frame? If you're on a lower time frame, trade the lower time frame. But there you go. So yeah, if there was a 4 hour closure above the midpoint today on my range, then I would expect another assault on the top. There could be 15-minute wicks, or there could be 15-minute closures all the way up there, and probably back up to this level would be completely fine. But as long as price turns back below there, then the 4-hour, what would appear to be downtrend, continues. Right, I'm going off on one. I'm going to shut up. Have a marvelous Friday. Could be the start of the weekend for some of you people. Enjoy it, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. See you later.